Everyone, and welcome back. We're up in the woods today. It's a Friday, so we're going to be having a campfire, and we're going to be cooking some T-bone steaks over the coals later on. Now, this time last week we were hiking up the Sutton Bank and the sun was out. It was about 17 degrees, really nice weather. But a week on and the conditions have changed a bit. I woke up this morning and there was about an inch of snow on the street outside. And it's pretty chilly. It's about 6 degrees at the moment, and there's a few wintry showers that are coming through, although it is pretty mild when the sun comes out. But I've put up a DD XL tarp here in case we get any more wintry showers during the evening. I'm just going to prepare the campfire. Now, what I've got here is some hazel and some common birch as well, I think, and I'm just going to put a few logs on the base of the fire. I tend to do this all the time now when I'm building a campfire. You know, you get pieces of wood like that which are pretty awkward to split, so I just kind of put them on the base of the fire pit, and as the fire burns, as it burns down, this kind of bottom layer of hardwood will catch, and you'll end up with a really decent bed of coals, which is what you want when you're planning on grilling a steak. So today here in the UK, the fuel prices go up, so the cost of heating your home has spiraled, and it's going to go up again in October, and it works out cheaper for us to come up here on the weekend and sit round the campfire than it is to put the heating on at home. So we're just going to be using one of the Bigfoot bushcraft fire lighters. We'll just get a spark on there. There we go. We'll just get this on top. Hopefully I'll get the fire started. We'll just get some of these smaller bits of wood on top as well. So the fire is going pretty well underneath the top. Regular viewers might notice that the parachute that we had up has gone. It was just giving us too much jip. I originally had it hoisted on a rope between two trees, and that rope snapped during the storms in winter. And then I tried to build a teepee with some extended poles, but it just wasn't working out. It was really doing me head in. So I got in a bit of a huff and just took it all down. But I'll probably revisit it again towards the end of the summer and try and build a good structure to keep the parachute up during the, you know, the inevitable storms that you get during winter. So yeah, it's 4:30. I'm just going to keep stoking the fire. I'm going to go and get my chairs out, and then in half an hour I think I'll crack open a beer. So I'm going to be using the TJM Metalworks Folding Grill to cook my steak on tonight. I'm not really sure if I've featured this on the channel before, although I probably have. I use it all the time to grill meat over the fire. It comes with a case. I'll just give you a quick look at it. Folds out like that. I think the dimensions are something like 35 by 15 centimeters or 17 centimeters. And you've got these two legs which you can just fold in like that, or you can actually completely remove the legs if you just let them go up. They slide out, so you can just use the grill on its own. You know, if you've got a couple of rocks either side or a couple of logs or something. So it's a pretty versatile, handmade bit of kit. I'll put a link to TJM Metalworks underneath. He makes some fantastic stuff. If I had the money, I think I'd buy one of everything in his shop. But I use this quite a bit. And it's ideal for grilling meat. God, typical. You sit there and the smoke's just blagging in my face.
I've got lots of it. We don't use it all, but we can put some of the rosemary on.
Well guys, we've got the steaks out. Trish has put a bit of turmeric and paprika on hers, and I'm just gone straight in for a bit of pink Himalayan salt. Should do me. These were frozen, so they're actually still frozen in the middle. So we're just going to keep them by the fire here for about half an hour. So we're going to get the steaks on now. Just going to keep them pretty high in the first instance, and then as time goes on I can just push the grill down to get them nearer to the coals. Now what we've done is we've actually oiled this side of the steak, so what I'm going to do is just turn it over there so it helps prevent sticking on the grill. Well guys, we've got the finished wilderness pan here with some rice in, which we're going to fry up. Just going to get that underneath here, and then once this is done we'll get the rosemary on the fire and finish these steaks off. So time's getting on, it's about 8 o'clock now, still got a bit of light, and this steak looks amazing. Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
morning everyone. It's a lovely day up here in the woodlands of North Yorkshire. Clear blue sky and there's not a cloud in sight. It's a pretty chilly night last night though in the shed, but hopefully it'll warm up a bit as the day progresses. I'm just doing a bit of tidying. I've took the tarp down from last night and I'm going to have to get the ghillie kettle out, get some water boiled and do the washing. I'll crack on with that after I've finished this brew. So this is the ghillie kettle that I keep in the woods. It's actually not a ghillie kettle. I think it's made by the Eden Kettle Company. There's 3 brands that I'm aware of that make these. There's the ghillie kettle, the Kelly kettle and then the Eden Kettle Company. And they all claim to be the original designer of these types of storm kettles or volcano kettles, whatever you want to call them. They're a really simple idea. You've just got a hole that runs up in the middle and you've got a jacket that goes around which you fill with water. This one holds a litre I think, and then you just light the fire in the base. You pop that on top and your water will boil pretty quickly, and then they have these handles on the back here. Now the way to get it off, you don't kind of lift it off like that because the heat comes rushing out of the chimney and it'll just melt your hand. So once it's boiled you just keep it like that and then you lift them off, and then you've got a cork. This one has a cork in it and you just pour the water out like that. The ghillie kettle that I keep in the truck, it's the large one, the Adventurer, and it's got like a whistle that you put in the spout there, and once the water starts to boil it whistles. But I think this one and the Kelly kettle, they just use like corks or rubber stoppers. Yeah, so they're pretty useful little gadgets really. They're great for keeping in the back of your 4x4, and I keep this one in the shed all the time. But they do use quite a bit of fuel. For example, I'm going to be using pretty much all of this plus some twigs just to boil a litre of water. What you don't want to do is not have enough fuel and start running around looking for sticks and that. So I tend to prepare beforehand. And I've got the trusty Mora companion, so I'm just going to batten down some of these bits of wood and then we'll get the water boiling. You can't beat the Mora companion for value. I think I paid £8.50 for this knife around 10 years ago, and it's still going strong. So what I've done here is just fill the base with some twigs, and I've got a little fire lighter in there. Obviously you can use birch bark or any other kind of tinder. Now you're supposed to point this hole in the direction of the wind, and the wind just funnels up through the kettle and helps with the burn, but there's no wind today. So I'm just going to place it like that and then pop the kettle on top. Now I'll put some more twigs down through the chimney. It's better to be over prepared in terms of twigs and wood for these things than under prepared. Yeah, that should do. Just going to turn it around a bit more into the direction of the wind. There we go. So it's starting to boil now. Didn't use that much wood in it actually. But what tends to happen with this one, if you fill it up, once the water starts to boil, it'll kind of jump out the spout and run down and put the fire out, which isn't great if you want to use the fire base to do any cooking or anything like that. There we go. So we're all packed up now. and we're gonna head back to civilization. So as ever, thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you again in the next one.